Hello everyone, my name's Amy Smith and I'm going to be doing a really quick editing tutorial for you today. As you can see, I have a macro shot of a ranunculus right here. I used a Lens Baby Velvet lens, so that's why it's so soft, and there's a small bit of focus. I had it wide open and the focal plane is very shallow. So that's why it looks the way it does. I really like that look at times. And so that's what I'm going to edit. I'm going to edit it, and I also am going to add some bokeh lights in the background. I think it might make it sparkle and pop a little bit just for some fun, something different. And I was going to show you how I do that. Now, I could have done it when I shot it with lights in the background, which I will link a tutorial that I have already done by adding some lights to your background. And if obviously I didn't shoot it with lights, so I'm going to add some in post-processing with an overlay. So I will show you how I do that. So to get started, I'm not going to change a lot with this. What I do want to do though is bump up a little bit of texture. That will help these focal planes that are in focus pop a little more. So I added a little bit of texture. I'm going to add a little bit of clarity and maybe bump up the vibrance just a tiny bit. Maybe contrast just a hair here in the global area. That kind of has made that pop just a little bit. As you can see, here's what we imported and here's where we're at already. And it just pops a little more. It gives a little bit more excitement. I am then going to, I don't really care for, they're not bothering me super tons over here, the greens from all the stems of the flowers that were in the vase with the other one, with this one. So I'm going to take a really quick brush and desaturate those just a tiny bit. I'm not going to have the overlay of the red. I have red chosen for mine to show where my masks are. So I'm going to pull down the desaturation just a little bit here, and I'm going to run over these green stems that I see down here. And they're still visible, but we can play with that a little bit with the slider once we get it placed. So that went away decently. So if I pull that down just a little more, okay, that takes care of the green for me quite well. I just don't want it. I just want the pink and not the green of the stems. So we'll get those taken out. And I think that looks pretty good. So that's it. I didn't want to do a global takedown of the green saturation because I want that inside here in the center of the flower. I'm gonna, let's see, we're done with that brush. So I'm going to now go down a little bit. I'm going to sharpen it just a little. It defaults to 40. I'm going to bump it up to like 45, close to 50. Not go crazy. I don't want it to get like crispy and weird looking, and obviously sharpened. And then I'm going to do one more brush, I think, and I want to brighten up this center of the flower just a little bit. So we're going to go to our masking icon over here, this circle. It'll give us a drop down if you hit the plus of the various masks that you can use. So I'm going to use a brush. I could use a radial filter also, but that would work just as well. But I'm going to use a brush, and I am going to, I think, increase the texture just a little bit inside this. I'm going to increase the clarity just a little bit, and I'm going to bump up and decrease the shadow. So pulling the slider to the right and increasing the number is going to decrease the shadow. So I'm going to brush that right in here around my center and around this focal plane where these are in really nice focus. And when I shot this, I used my R5, Canon R5. It's a mirrorless. It's new to me. See, I don't want to, yeah, we'll enhance that exposure just a little bit. That makes the light that's coming in from the side even more ethereal looking. So I really like that. So like I was saying, I shot this with my R5, and what's really cool about the mirrorless systems is they have the focus peaking, and as you zoom in and out manually with your lens, it highlights what's in focus. So you can really play and get really amazing different focal planes in a shot. I had my camera on a tripod, so I just wheeled it in and out and took various shots, and this was one of my very favorites. So, okay, so I have this where I want it here in Lightroom. So I'm going to quick take the photo, go to Photo, it drops down, Edit in Adobe Photoshop. That's where I'm going to apply the bokeh light overlay. And I think I just want some around the edges just to make it a little more happy, a little more exciting. And we'll see, it's giving me all kinds of exciting options here. So we'll just kill that for now. And it's spinning here. We need some elevator music to go along with our wait. Okay, here we're coming in. All right, so here we are in Photoshop, and I always copy and make a copy of my original background layer. Just because if you're going to do some things, you don't want to lose pixels and have it completely gone and not recoverable. So make a layer, make a copy, and then I am going to go to File, Place Embedded, and that's going to let me do a browse. Oh, and look here, where it took me to my glitter overlays. I don't want glitter. I think I just want some, bokeh light overlays is what I have mine as. So I have all kinds of sizes and intensities and busyness, if you will. I kind of like this one. There's some openness right here. I don't have to do a ton of masking then when I'm done. And I can play with the color and warmth of the bokeh as well. We may end up doing a couple, but let's try this one. So we'll click on it, we'll hit place, and it should show up. Yep, there it is. And I'm just going to stretch it to where I think I'm going to want the overlays. And what we can do is play with the opacity. That layer is highlighted, the overlay, and we can play with the opacity. So we can see where it is, where it's landing, and where we're putting it on our original photo. So, and we can turn it and twist it and make it exactly where we want it to go. I kind of like, I don't think I want it twisted quite that much. I may end up doing a couple of these. So we want everything to be covered. I don't want to have any weird edges that stick out and look really wonky. So, you know, I don't know if I like that or not. I don't think I do. I think I'm going to, oop, where'd it go? I think I'm going to get rid of that one, and I'm going to try a different one. Sorry about that. I think I kind of want a lot more, but I want them bigger. I'm going to try that one. That could be fun. I think I like that already. So let's bring down the opacity. Photoshop is so amazing. It lets you do so much more than Lightroom, although Lightroom's really making great strides in their masking. It's been amazing, the capabilities that has brought forward as well. So, okay, I am really digging how this is looking. Okay, so I stretched it out. I can see where I want the bokeh to go. So once we get it where we think we want it, hit the little check mark at the top, and that kind of like applies it. Come on. Okay, there we are. It's spinning for me. My computer's being slow. So I love how this looks out here. I love the edges. I like how this is even on a few of the outer edges here, but I don't want these big strong ones on the middle of the flower. So mask to the rescue. Okay, So we want to use a black brush, and I'm going to make my brush super big, and I'm going to make it really soft. It is very soft. So let's start clicking a little, and we're clicking right on those bokeh spots, and we're just eliminating and softening some of those strong ones that are in the body of the flower. But we're keeping some of it around it. And then we can make our brush bigger or smaller by using the bracket key, the left and right bracket key. And I really like that. It's, you know, it's not for everybody and it's not for every photo, but I kind of like making it a little exciting, and it's also a great time to practice using bokeh overlays. It's not just for Christmas and party times. So I think that makes this happy flower even happier. So I am happy. I'm super happy with that. What I'm going to do now is flatten this, because since we're in Photoshop, I'm going to again make a copy. Once I flatten, I'm going to make another copy of my layer. So I'm working on a copy of it, and I'm going to go to Filter, Other, and High Pass. This is a way to do some sharpening globally all over the place in Photoshop. And if you can barely see, you can see some of the edges of the flower and some of the bokeh edges right here. If I increase that, you'll really see it. See, that's a little high. We don't want to go that high, obviously. Once you can really start seeing the image through the high pass filter, that's probably enough. So I can really see my edges. That's what I want to sharpen. So I am going to hit OK and commit. And now, oh, it's gray. That doesn't look right. So we go to here to blend modes. Normal is giving us the gray. So I'm going to go down to soft light. And that is going to give me what I like and what I want to see. So right now, what I just did is at 100%. If I take it all the way down to 0, it takes away what I just did with the high pass filter. If I put it up to 100, you can see that sharpness. And I didn't overdo it at all, so I don't have an issue really with keeping it right where it's at. I might bring it down to about 75 because I don't want it to be too crispy. So that's that. That's applying an overlay. That's using a high pass filter. And I think I'm happy with this. I really like it. So I am going to now take and go up to File to get back to Lightroom and go File, Save. And that should take us back to Lightroom and give us a copy of what we just did. And there it is. Took a second, but there it is. So here's what we took into Photoshop. And here is with the overlay and a high pass, a light high pass sharpening filter. And I really like it. So I hope that this was beneficial to show you the overlay process and the high pass filter process. If you have any questions and are like, wait, what was that? Rewatch it, or definitely message me or comment here in the thread and we'll talk about it. And it's such a great tool. Photoshop is amazing. And I hope you liked it. Hope it was beneficial. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day.